Hello, hello. How are you all? Welcome to another episode of StartUp Rant. Today, we're gonna talk about interesting company. It's not a startup actually. It's a company that can tell us a lot about how to make, break, build, rebuild a successful business, successful stuff that comes and projects out of it. Kresimir from Neuralab is going to talk how is it that one little company from Croatia is like one of the best companies for that people choose when they are building the apps, the websites on the WordPress, because they are the only guys here and around other countries in Central Europe that have a VIP status. Also, they are one of the rare companies with the certificates, whatnot, all kind of stuff for WooCommerce. You know, that little thingy that helps people sell stuff because, 2021 is now, but 2020 was a pandemic year when a lot of people switched to online sales. Web shops. So, check this episode out. StartUp Rant. Hello. Croatia just said press the record button, and I
Press the record button.
just press it. Hi, Croatia. How are you?
Do it, man. Hello. Hi, Miro.
Hi.
It's nice to be here.
You're not here. You're at home or wherever.
I'm at
Where
home.
are you right now? I see
Virtual
this
stuff.
nice setup. You're putting me in shame right now. So
Yeah.
I need to invest in that. So
It's,
where are you
it's
right
because
now?
this Zoom thingies are so frequent right now. So I need like a proper setup.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
But I'm dying for like a person to person meeting.
Well, yeah, it's like I started this as kind of like let's just talk online, and
Yeah.
I don't care if you hear sounds around me because I'm here where I am and whatnot. But actually, I would like really to sit down with the people and talk with them in person. Um,
Yeah.
so I see you
So
have kind of a beautiful setup there.
yeah.
And in the intro, I did say a little bit about your company and about you and the name of the company that you are presenting right now. Not presenting, we're talking about startup world, and you're not a startup per se, but Neuralab. What do you guys do?
We were a startup. Yeah.
You
We
play
were
with
like
them.
I would say that we were a typical startup
Okay,
when we started back in 2007 and 2008.
nice.
I mean, we were first involved in the stock markets. You wouldn't believe that. Yeah. It's a funny story because when we were at the college, the stock markets in the Central and the Eastern Europe was crazy, like bad shit crazy. They're more crazy than crypto nowadays.
Whoa, whoa,
And
whoa, 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 whoa. You do know that we are recording this. It will not go out on this day, but you do know right? GameStop right now.
GME,
Yeah,
yeah, GME
it's
is
crazy.
also a crazy story. Yeah, but we
Wow.
were
Okay,
we
continue.
were involved. But I mean, crypto and GME could not battle against Central European stock markets back in 2005, 2006, because there were like a lot of just plain illegal stuff on the brokerages and on the stock markets. Like for instance, when we a couple of us invested in the Montenegro stock market. I believe it was 2004 and 2005. Back then, it was normal, like to handle stock markets on plain paper, on the black markets. Like it was normal. It was like
Okay.
crazy things, and we didn't know that. And yeah, but our roots are in the stock markets because one thing, and this is neural networks. So we started our business basically building neural networks algorithms that could predict the stock markets. So this was the main thing about Neuralab, because I had a history with stock markets and stocks, and this was like interesting to me, and this was also like the first cash cushion that Neuralab had. We had our own cash from the stock markets, and then we started to play with artificial intelligence and neural networks. That was back in 2006 and 2007, where you could build like some sorts of neural network in MATLAB that could predict the next day price of Pliva, for instance, which is the which back then was Croatian pharma, big pharma. So we played around with various algorithms and how to predict stock markets, and our plan was to build a company around it, like to have some sort of a artificial intelligence product that could predict the stock markets. The problem is, we were too young and too green, so to say, to envision this product, because when we started to do some sort of a early business plan and early software product plan, we we immediately started that there are a lot of players, current players in the New York City and in Chicago stock market that were doing that, So we were saying, oh, there is a market for that, and there are like current dozens of vendors doing that, and these vendors were like companies of 1,000 people, 1,000 mathematicians and software engineers that were doing machine learning on stock markets. So we currently say, okay, we can't battle against those guys. And in parallel, we were always like developers and designers, and the web industry was also gaining traction, and web 2.0 was also gaining traction. So we started to say, okay, web technologies are kind of cool, and we know how to develop stuff, we know how to program stuff, we know databases, we know data sets, we know technology like online business. This was also cool for us. It was also like eager market, and we also saw that it's a big technical opportunity to go into it. And it was also kind of interesting. To be honest, not so interesting as machine learning and the stock markets, but it was also interesting. And we saw that e-commerce will be a huge thing back then in 2007 to 2008. And then we basically pivoted to a digital agency. But I would say this is from the early beginnings of Neuralab. We pivoted right away because we saw that we couldn't compete with machine learning algorithms, and we pivoted basically into an e-commerce agency right away. Um, our primary focus was always web. We always drive web solutions and open source solutions. This was our early forte. We did have a thing with Flash and .NET that was in parallel also, but we started right away with building custom e-commerce solutions for our clients, and that kind of stick was with this 12 or 13 years. So yeah, just to say it in one sentence, Neuralab is a digital agency that builds custom e-commerce applications for our clients. We mostly focus on bigger clients, enterprise clients. We mostly drive open source technical stacks like WordPress and WooCommerce. We are building WordPress solutions for over 10 years, and WooCommerce solutions for over, I believe, 9 years or 8 years. Because our mission and our goal is to provide our customers and our clients with their own web platform that they will fully own, that they would fully be flexible about it. They will own the data, they will own the stack, they will own the custom design, and they can do anything about it. And this is our forte, this is our goal, this is our vision for the web also. Our vision is to provide web solutions that could be displayed and interacted on any browser, any device, any screen orientation, any context. And this is what we believe, and this is what we build. Yeah.
Now, while you were talking, I was like, I gotta say this. I just like this new normal because, you know, I can actually browse where you're speaking,
Hmm.
and you can actually see that because I was trying to, and it's beautiful because you're doing a video podcast, and to all our listeners on audio podcast, what I was doing, I was trying to like check a little bit what you were saying, and it's really amazing. Like I'm just checking like what you did before, of course, a few days ago when we talked, but you mentioned kind of a little stuff
But you
right now.
probably have like open tabs that are not connected to any of this, like recipes,
Yeah,
books,
I'm trying to find like a
multitasking.
really
Yeah.
really good recipe for a quiche. So if anybody listening to this, just send that to me.
I had it yesterday, so this is a sync. Yesterday, it's
This
like
is
from
kismet,
Korica,
man.
the
You
best kitchen
you
ever.
will send the recipe to me about that
Yeah,
this beautiful quiche that you ate, probably.
yeah.
Okay,
Korica quiche.
but it's okay. And actually, like I was trying to check this, and it's interesting because when I put some keywords that you right now said, like kind of because Neuralab, like it's neurons and whatnot, but you
Hmm.
actually mentioned a little bit like on
Yeah,
the stock market. I was checking this, and I was like, yeah, 2008, 2006. No, we know what happened all
ages
into
ago.
yeah
Yeah,
ages ago, but 2008 we know what happened. We know
yeah,
about Michael. We know stock market. You know what happened with the housing market and whatnot. And I was
yeah,
just like, oh man, so you had already one crisis under your belt.
yeah. This was a crazy
It's,
period.
it
I
was
mean,
like looking at this. I know what happened
yeah,
then, but you were just saying things that sorry to interrupt you. I'm ranting a little bit, but mathematicians. I see like after that, it just took off. I see some articles right now about Wall Street about hiring people, who are
hmm,
really into it, they were maybe moving more from the economy of like faculty staff members or even people who are going to those kind of you know education to the more
okay.
like development education to people who are into the computers who are like I'm just reading right now who are more a little bit like developing
Hmm.
software or whatnot because there was like this kind of a switch like we need to predict next bubble and you're saying not exactly that but you actually said like that was like what you were trying to do but you saw all those players there and you are actually then even recognize e-commerce as something coming about that could be something in the future and I see right now in that time Amazon was still like just a company now
Yeah,
it's household
there are a
name.
couple of threads there. There are a
Yeah,
couple of threads there.
it's
So I would
interesting.
say that our goal to produce e-commerce applications was not connected to the current state of the stock markets.
Yeah, yeah.
The, the thing is that a couple of years before starting Neuralab, I was involved with the stock markets, but I would say that my saturation with stock markets was high enough. So I wanted to start a new venture, and I wanted to go into web technologies because I mean this was my heart. Development and the web design. It's something that is like really creative and engineering industry that you can combine all sorts of things. So I would say that we started building e-commerce web applications not not connected to the decline of the stock market, but it was practically in the hindsight it was a good thing that we stopped investing into the stock market because of the 2008 bubble. So basically this was a good thing. We had a cash cushion from investing in stocks. So we pulled all of our resources from stocks into pure cash, and we started Neuralab, and then started to build e-commerce web applications. This decision now in hindsight was like pretty good. This is like the perfect timing. It was the perfect timing because of the two things. One is the obvious stock market crash in 2007 and 2008, and the second one was the start of the uptick of the web industry, because back in I believe 2005, 2006 to 2007, you will see a surge of new companies that were starting to build web applications. So this was like the two main things about it. So I believe we had some would say that this is luck. I would say that this is to some extent it is luck, but all people should be aware that we worked on all of the web technologies previously, before Neuralab. So when we started Neuralab, we knew how to code, we knew how to do web design, we knew market dynamics about stocks and the companies. I also knew some things from my father's business, which was like a wine selling business. So this was all like strategy pillars put in place that could mean that we could start Neuralab. But having an idea and starting a business is totally different thing than running a business. Starting a business is pretty easy.
Yeah.
And having a cash cushion, I would say, and in starting cash capital or seed capital or angel capital, however you want to call it, it's not so problematic. I would say that the biggest problem in any business, and digital agencies or project bureaus or software engineering especially, two most difficult things are having a quality that is consistent. So this is the biggest problem on any business. It's not so hard to have a quality for some amount of time, but having a consistent quality for minimum 7 years, which is needed to make you an expert in one field, this is the hardest part. So these are the sleepless nights. These are the like learning. These are the like 16-hour day, 16-hour business day. These are the like working weekends. These are the like falling hair and like having a chubby stomach. So these are the all sorts of things that are basically running a startup, running a business, running basically any organization. Because a lot of people talk about these starting points. How you started, you had luck with the time frame, but I would say this is not so much important. Like running like daily grind for continuous number of years. It's something that will make or break your company.
And all that kind of sleepless nights and all those quiche and everything
Yeah.
get you where you are right now. And expertise, you mentioned like these 70 years and whatnot. It's kind of, you need to put down the work. You need to dig the hole to put the seed, and then the seed grows to be a tree or not if you don't water it, right? And you are right now after all this time, because you like you said, people can talk about, oh, it was luck, it was a perfect time of year, whatnot, but it's not. It's up what's happening within the company, what's happening, what you're doing, and you're doing really fine, because right now in the Croatia, you're the only VIP, which is like a very important partner, a partner agency for WordPress. Which WordPress right now is it's fueling
40% of the whole web.
Like 45. I think I have like this kind of information. 45.
There are two main metrics: 40% for the whole web.
Yeah.
But 67% of the whole web that is powered by any kind of CMS, like content management system. So it's kind of huge.
And in this time and age, right now, especially because you survived the first blip, if you're gonna call it, in your life, like kind of a pandemic that was a housing pandemic.
Yeah.
Right now, it's actual pandemic because we now have even not just economic fallout because of this disease that's happening. First was the
Mhm.
disease, but it was like moving people toward like from actual going to the shop to do actual shopping there to go to online, and you were
Mhm.
already there trying to do something, to do like something in e-commerce space, and
Mhm.
WooCommerce is big part of that. Can you
Yeah.
a little bit reflect on that work? Was it like harder to sell the story before pandemic, and after the pandemic it was much more easier, or it's kind of a growth that you need to work on to
Yeah, this
showcase
so
people?
there are, I mean, there are a lot of threads around this topic. Um, First thread is that Neuralab is currently positions as selling enterprise solutions for e-commerce. So we are always targeting bigger companies and bigger organizations and bigger teams into their e-commerce quest. Uh, to be honest, I would say if you want a short answer, then yes, it's kind of a easier sell currently to propose e-commerce solution for a current or a new client. But there is one downside to it. The sell is easier because the client is pressured, and this is not good. So the thing is that we have a lot of clients that are just pressured from their CEOs or from their competitors to go into e-commerce space, and they're
Yeah,
hasting into it, and this
like
is not a
just
good
do it,
thing.
just do
Yeah,
it, like
yeah,
just
this is not a good
whatever.
thing because
Yeah.
so when you haste anything into software development, it's not a good practice. We always produce projects into three main phases. We first do ideations, discovery, and wireframing. After that is approved by all of the stakeholders, then we do into detailed web design, detailed user experience, detailed customer experience, which is like big phase two with our designers and our developers. And then after that is approved by all of the stakeholders, then we go into software engineering, building databases, hosting servers, stuff like that. So I would say it's a generally slow process. There are a lot of moving parts. You need to combine front-end interfaces for customers. You need to combine back-end interfaces with ERPs and warehouse management and logistics, and how client manages invoices, orders, customer support, stuff like that. So it's a pretty slow process, and it's kind of a good thing when the process is slow but steady. So this haste is not a good thing for us. I mean, to be honest, it's somewhat a good thing that this Corona thingy pushed this whole digital transformation. I know there are a lot of buzzwords around it and a lot of business bullshit, especially on LinkedIn, about the Corona thing being
Yeah.
digital transformative agents. Some, I mean, some of these topics are typical BS. Uh, but it was a catalyst for some of the things. It was a catalyst for instance, for our current clients that were talking with us through several months before Corona about going into e-commerce. Then COVID pushes them. So this was like a good thing. But it is up to us to um, implement solutions that are on a slow and steady phase, and not to haste clients into e-commerce, which a lot of agencies, to be honest, are doing. You have a lot of digital agencies that were before Corona were not involved in e-commerce, and they're now somehow magically involved into e-commerce, and they're pushing clients into e-commerce space. And this is not good, because you will have an agency that is basically optimized for publishing mobile applications or custom web applications or doing only digital marketing. and these so-called experts are now pushing their clients into e-commerce space, and this could be shitty. Yeah, to be honest.
And like this is what I like actually about Neuralab and companies that are similar to you. Is like you have like this kind of a spark that you ignite with the people, right? With the companies you already been working with. And
Mhm.
right now when they ask for advice, it's not just like, yeah, we can do that. We
Yeah,
can,
we can
yeah,
do
we can
everything.
do it,
Yeah,
man. We're gonna
just
put
write me a
your
check and we will do everything. Yeah, yeah, this is
eShop,
BS.
it's coming there. You want a new
Yeah,
Amazon? New Amazon coming for you, brother.
yeah, this is
You
like a
know,
typical request. Yeah, new Amazon,
yeah, it's
new
like
Facebook, new Amazon. Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. And I hate when people don't understand that, especially in this startup kind of place. It's like, oh, you're doing it's like it's like your aunt or your uncle is calling like, hey, you work with computers, right? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, so you can set me up with the YouTube, blah, blah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
set
blah,
up
blah,
the
blah, blah, blah.
Wi-Fi, the printer, and the e-commerce. Yeah, so
Yeah,
this is
it's
yeah,
the
I need
same thing.
that three things. Yeah, this is the thing about our industry. It's so when when you talk with your accountant, and when you talk with your lawyer, and when you talk with your doctor, and when you talk with your engineer, like civil
Yeah,
engineer, if you are in the center of Zagreb, you have like a lot of talks with your civil engineer. Like
at this time, yeah.
all of these people, all of these people are basically selling knowledge, like Neuralab also. But all of these people have certificates, diplomas, like government state exams,
Yeah.
and this is not a thing in our industry. You don't have like a certificate for web designer or for web developer. So when I go to my accountant will tell me the hard truth, because she is obliged by the law, and she is obliged by the audits and by revisions. And these same things apply with doctors, lawyers, civil engineers, all of the other people that are selling knowledge for basically several thousand years. But in web industry, which is basically 20 years old, to be honest,
Yeah,
there is no such thing. So there are a lot of shady agencies, a lot of shady freelancers, a lot of shady players in the market. Also, product companies that are selling payment gateways, and
mm,
they're promising a lot of things that they cannot deliver. So, for example, you have a lot of in the US, you have a lot of product agencies that are building somewhat synchronizers. I will sync WooCommerce to Magento. I will sync WooCommerce to Facebook. I will sync WooCommerce to some ERP, and we constantly have like a lot of talks with those kind of product companies, and they are such full of BS. They're saying to our clients that they will sync million products in 1 minute, and they will sync a million orders from ERP to warehouse management system. Yeah, millions, like in 1 minute. It's not a problem at all. So we need to battle. We constantly need to battle these topics. We constantly need to battle our own clients, because our own clients come to us with
yeah,
uh,
like that guy there said,
presumptions.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, he
yeah.
can
This
do
is
that,
this
like
is thing, but
this.
this is so I would say this is a feature of successful digital agencies, is basically educating your clients constantly.
I agree with
Yeah.
that because I don't want to work with the agency, but that's my like opinion, and I think that this should be like opinion of every startup right now who wants to create something and maybe has kind of a problem that can be resolved with the e-commerce or can be especially this time, or can be resolved with kind of a knowledge that comes from the you know like uh, WordPress or something like that,
Mhm.
because anybody right now can go and read any article on the internet, right? Anybody
Mhm.
can be a guru, quote unquote, on anything,
Yeah.
but to actually do something, it's like oh, there's Google Analytics, or oh, there's a Facebook manager. Like, yes, there is, but do you know what you're doing there? Like, oh, You can read all
Yeah,
that stuff. It's like the
this
same
is the
thing.
thing about the internet, you know.
I can play certain jobs, but I
Yeah,
can actually play an airplane in Microsoft a simulator, right?
yeah.
But I wouldn't
I
play.
heard it's really great.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't play a Boeing 747
yeah,
whatnot in real
yeah,
life because
yeah,
I know where the switches are. But it's kind of this guy still knows
yeah.
what he's doing. Like, come on,
Yeah,
just
it's from one perspective, it's kind of a typical thing, you know, like agency needs to educate the clients. But nowadays you have this like momentum of the internet, you know, and free source of knowledge, and the various articles which can be either like fake or not. So there's like,
uh,
new moments and fake news. So it's kind of like new moments in our civilization that we need to bet around. So when a client reads an article that Shopify is better than WooCommerce or XYZ, it's it's kind of I wouldn't say this is a problem for us. It's kind of a extra work that we need to educate the clients. So first we need to tell the client, okay, unlearn what you learned, and then we will
yeah.
objectively with arguments explain why e-commerce and WooCommerce and open source is good for you. I mean, you have like the current typical example is GME and like GameStop event. Like you have like a horde of people going to Reddit, looking at the
Yeah, yeah.
articles that says that hedge funds are evil. I mean, they are basically evil, but you know, like so this is the thing that I observed in a couple of days before. It's like people are thinking that short selling is evil, which is basically not. You know,
Yeah.
like short selling is basically short selling. I borrow something from you,
Mm.
and I give it back to you in XYZ days. You know,
Uh,
it's not inherently evil.
yeah.
It's not illegal. But people on the Reddit and people on various articles saw that topic and short selling, and like you have like Elon Musk tweeting that short selling is bad, but basically he's short selling his cars.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have this like this momentum of the internet when people are basically easily swayed around one topic. And what you have today, for instance, that a lot of people bought GME stock at this highest price.
Yeah,
So
yeah, like $300.
they're
Everybody
basically,
just ran into it like, oh, $300. So that's a fair price. It was maybe $50 2 weeks ago,
yeah, but
but
you
everybody's
now
saying,
have the moment.
yeah,
You now have the
yeah,
moment where a lot of people will lose money. You have this moment also. They want to stick it up to the hedge funds. I totally understand that.
yeah.
It's not odd, especially after the 2008
Mm.
crisis. But objectively, a lot of people were swayed by Reddit and a couple of articles and by Elon Musk saying that short selling is evil, which is basically inherently not. I can explain that more if you want, because we have like history in the
Oh,
stock
yeah.
markets. But
We should take
objectively,
a special,
a lot of people will lose money.
yeah, we need to take a special show about that because I wanted some short sellers here as well, you know.
Yeah.
I wanna because when I first time when the first time I learned about short selling and things like that,
Hmm.
it was like baffling to me. But not to go in that way because there are
Hmm.
lots of people who's gonna lose money right now, like they lost before, and lots of people gonna earn money like they did before. And when you
This
hear
is the
that,
market.
yeah, this is the market. And when you hear that some kind of a hedge fund is losing right now 53% of their
Hmm.
investment, whatnot, it's cool to cheer
Yeah, of course.
in
Yeah.
that regard. But in the other regard, they're also working as a hedge fund for other people who invested money there. So it's kind of,
Yeah.
people need to
Yeah. This is
understand.
something that people also
Yeah.
forget. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, okay, I just, like in VCs kind of point of view, which I'm trying to explain here in Startup Rant. It's not the VC like Venture capital is giving you the money. It's giving you
Yeah.
the money.
It's
If you're a
someone else's
startup,
money. Yeah.
it's someone else's money. So
Yeah.
it's
They are shorting the money.
yeah, like they're like maybe one guy there who has like Thunderbeam or whatnot. People are giving money into that kind of a pot of money, like in a huge pile of money that's called venture capital, that's going to invest in your startup. And the similar kind of, I'm not this is going to like go in the semantics and whatnot, but we're not going to go there. We're going to go back to the Neuralab, and actually I'm going to talk about something interesting. I want to ask you something, because I heard, and you mentioned that you worked with your father, but actually you had alcoholic past here, which is like connected with the hedge funds, because apparently lots of people there drink a lot, but you worked in alcoholic industry in a way, in a business, right, with your
So
father.
I was selling wine for, I would say,
But you were really young. You can admit
I
right
would
now
say
you
I was selling wine for 7 years.
7 years.
So I started to help my father when I was 15,
Okay, so
and
but you didn't drink, of course, right?
I like to drink wine, but a little bit. Yeah, I'm not so much of a drinker. Yeah, it's more like a straight edge thing, you know. So it's I started to help my father when I was 15, working in the shop and working on invoices and orders and like administration. So when I got my driver's license at around 18, I started to drive the van and the trucks for this whole company, you know. So this was like a extremely good experience about being on time, planning your trips, planning what needs to be delivered, when and where. So this lasted for about a couple of years. Yeah, I mean until we started Neuralab, you know.
So in a way, you were like Croatian Gary Vee, like
Yeah,
starting from the
something
baseball
like
with my
that. Yeah,
father. I was working with the wine, and now I'm collecting baseball cards and
baseball
selling that.
cards and baseball clubs.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
So any book
we
coming
yeah
soon, Gresho? Any
yeah
book coming soon?
book coming soon. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
write a book
Yeah,
about that.
we are writing a book on e-commerce. Thank you for asking.
Well, you have time right now to say a little bit
Yeah,
about
I
that.
have like a lot of time. Yeah, talking about my son. Yeah, it's so what were we talking about? The
No,
wine business.
I wanted to like right. We're gonna like right now. We talked about this kind of hedge funds and everything and things like that, and I want to like pull it down a little bit, just to say that you didn't just one day like woke up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna work in the prediction industry in the stock market, and then I'm gonna create a Neuralab." You actually put the work, a groundwork, like actual driving
Wine delivery.
caskets,
Yeah,
wine
yeah.
delivery, and things like that. And what I'm trying to say with this kind of a startup rant here, with this podcast, is like,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what you do. What matter is that you actually believe in what you're doing right now.
Of course.
It's not like right now you're doing a Neuralab and you're creating all this kind of beautiful WooCommerce, WordPress stuff, but you're
Yeah,
still dreaming about selling the wine.
of course.
Maybe you're dreaming about wine, but you said you're not a drinker, so Okay, so which part of your life right now is fulfilling? Is it like are you really like you said you were kind of a startup? You're now having a company. He's Neurolab is like how much 12 years old right now?
Neuralab is
13.
13 years
Okay.
old. We have 20 people.
Beautiful. So you didn't
Uh,
grow up like, here we go, 13 people. You
yeah,
actually,
we like evolutionary path, you
yeah,
know, like
it's a journey.
steady growth. Yeah, we had a steady growth. We had one bump after the crisis when our revenues went down for 1 year. Yeah, this was a learning point in my I would say running Neuralab school.
Okay.
Our larger client was VIP, like VIPNet,
Oh,
Croatian VIPNet, which is a
it's
telco
A1
industry.
right now, right?
A1 right now. Yeah, they
Okay.
were our bigger clients, and it was the danger was that our whole yearly revenue was 60% based on A1 revenue. So we were directly
Um,
exposed
okay. Yeah.
to their like orders, but they were a cool bunch of girls and guys, and we did a lot of work with them. Their portal in 2009 and 2010 was one of the biggest web portals in the whole Croatian web industry, and we had a lot of work with them. And then one day this thing just kind of slipped. They had a massive surge of layoffs.
Oh.
They had like a massive downtick of expenditures into their web portal. Their web portal was basically canceled, and with that, all of our revenues. So we had like a downstream of our revenues in 1 year because of that. But it was a learning point for sure. I mean,
Mm.
we had one meeting with A1, and they were planning like a redesign of the portal with a lot of features, and a lot of novelty features back in 2009, when nobody was basically doing any cutting edge web stuff. And we were talking about having like 1.5 million kunas for this portal, which was back then was pretty huge. It's pretty huge budget. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we were at the meeting. I believe there were 10 of us total around, like four-person team from Neuralab, and around 6 or 7 people from the A1. And we concluded the meeting that okay, the budget is enough. We will do strategically this and these things around the web. We need to position A1 portal, web portal, WebNet in back of those on back of those days was called VIPNet, VIPHR. And then the meeting ended, and 1 week after, when we needed to have like a follow-up meeting,
Mm.
there were no people from this meeting from the VIPNet side back in this company. So they all
Oh.
got layoffs.
Oh.
So we were okay. So who's
Okay.
meeting from your side? And the girl from the A1 said, "Well, nobody. The portal is canceled.
Oh
The team had a
God.
layoff." So it was like it was a big learning lesson for us, not to have the whole eggs in one basket, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh. That's harsh, man. Because I
yeah.
know I had some similar meetings, especially as a co-founder of a startup. I got to meetings and we tried to negotiate the
Mhm.
business and whatnot. And before the pandemic, everybody was like, hyped. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Yada yada yada. And then on the March or something like that, they didn't say no, but they said like, we need to see what will happen with the situation. And here we go,
Yeah,
2021.
typical
We're
BS. Yeah,
still looking at the situation. Nothing
yeah.
is happening because
I don't know why it's so hard for people to
I
to
like
say
no.
no. I mean,
I
it
like
will
no.
it would make life easier for
Yeah,
all of us.
yeah, I like no because if you tell me no, then I have like especially in the startup world, I know that it's not my fault. I know what the fault is.
Yeah.
Not mine, not yours. It's pandemic. Not mine, not yours. It's yada yada. Or it's yours because you don't want to invest in that thing, or
Hmm.
it's mine because I do not have something to provide to you in that regard. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. So let's say right now, if you have kind of advice to conclude the story for entrepreneurs, young and old,
Hmm.
or the one that just starting, what would that be? Will it be like, listen, I've been here for 13 years old, don't try it, run, or
Don't do it.
no, don't do it.
Go work for the government. Yeah.
Yeah, go somewhere like go to Ireland, or
Yeah.
it would be more like, listen, if you're believing in what Well, here you go. You
Here you
say.
go. Here's some advice.
Yeah,
Well,
here's some advice.
I can tell you what I observed personally working with various startups and agencies and organizations with various kinds. I mean, Neuralab is working with all sorts of bigger clients. First problem is people don't have a plan. So a lot of startups start up without a business plan, like
Oh,
like a normal,
yeah.
just basic business
Yeah.
plan. Like write down in a couple of pages what problem are you trying to solve, what is the product, what is the price, what is the promotion, what people we do, what kind of processes. Just write a simple plan of couple of four pages. This like this would mean a lot for a lot of startups and to be honest with a lot of the current companies that we are working for, they don't have like a sound business plan. The
Mhm.
second thing that is also connected to the business plan is focus. I see a lot of freelancers and agencies and organizations and product companies and NGOs. They don't have focus, and they try to solve all problems in the industry. They try to solve problems that are not their problems. They are trying to solve non-existent problems. And so this is the biggest thing that I would say. You need to focus on one thing and solve only one problem, but solve it really well. And this is the, I would say, these two advices will get you far, definitely.
And I really thank you for this because it's something aligned with what I think, what I'm trying to like convey to people,
Hmm.
especially when people ask like, did you make the mistake to work for a startup, not for the company
Hmm.
that you worked before because you have like a steady job, quote unquote, whatever that means today. And I say, if you put everything on the paper, if you plan accordingly, you
Hmm.
can get far. Doesn't mean that you're gonna succeed, but at least it will get you on the right track.
I
I
mean,
hope.
there are a lot of advices
Yeah.
that we could talk about, and some people could say that these are all BS, but there are some rule of thumbs in the business
Mm.
that are good, especially if you want to talk about personal advices. I had tons of sleepless nights,
Yeah.
but not because of the industry and not because of the business, but because of me, because I couldn't say no to some clients. I couldn't say no to working 16 hours a day. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't eat healthy. So
Mm.
a lot of problems are coming from the inside. So, but it's really tough to basically give advices. It's because we all know that if an entrepreneur is eager and willing, he will probably need to go through the shitstorm, by
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
This is
You
uh,
learn on your own mistakes.
you learn
Like,
on your own. Yeah, of course, there are some things that are like good rule of thumb is to have a business plan and to stick to your guns.
yeah.
Have a focus. This will save you a lot of hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm bald, man. I don't have hair on my head. That's why I'm
Yeah.
wearing cap here and there. You know?
Sorry to mention that.
No, no, no. It's okay. It's not that I'm like
No, it's okay.
crying myself to sleep every night
Uh,
because of it.
yeah.
I actually lost my hair at 23, so it's fine.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine. But you have hair here.
Yeah, like the beard
Totally.
covers at least something of my beautiful face. So,
Your facial.
Kresho, thank you for this. Thank you for being here. Thank you
Thank
for
you, Miro.
talking about interesting stuff and about how it's to build a company and how it's like in a way there's kind of a Neuralab pivot there because you were doing something, then you actually realized that there's something else. And thank you for sharing the story with the problems with working with a big company that you're actually trying to focus only on that, not only on that. Like if you put more than 50% only on one job, that that your company is working or your startup is working, you need to understand that you might fail. And if you feel
Yeah.
that you're failing like immediately with everything else, because that's gonna hit you hard, not just on the way with that business, but actually on the mindset as well.
Mm.
Thank you for this, and stay tuned. Listen to our show, and I hope you have time in the future to be a guest again.
Thank you, Miro. It was a joy. And of course, about future guesting, just bump me a note and that's it.
Yeah, but I first need to like upgraded my
Your
podcast
setup.
equipment. Yeah,
Your
setup. Yeah,
setup, yeah.
yeah. I'm just
I
jealous
mean,
right now.
this is not expensive. It's I believe 100 euros for a mic. That's it.
You lost me at something hundred something. Yeah.
Something 100. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I mean, it's not so much. Yeah.
Welcome to the startup life, and I don't
Welcome
have
to
a
the startup
company
life.
12 years old, 13.
But you have like a good setup, like this is
Thank
a
you,
perfect.
thank you, man.
Thank you,
Okay,
Miro. Thank you, Miro. Bye
bye,
bye.
bye.
Bye bye.